Hey there, class. It's Mrs. Matheson here. We're going to start Unit 5's off today, and we're going to be doing it with Notes 1, which is on parts of a parabola. And parabola, that funny word there, we're going to talk about what that means here just shortly. It says a quadratic equation is anything that can be written in the standard form, y equals, and we're going to see this is familiar, ax squared plus bx plus c. Equation means we're going to see this equal sign in it. And a quadratic is because it's got that squared term. We saw this a lot last chapter when we were factoring those quadratics. The graph of a quadratic is called a parabola. Not a parabola, a parabola. So let's take a look at some of the pictures of a parabola. These two pictures here are parabolas. And let's find out some information about those. So they have a point called the vertex. This is the starting point when you graph a parabola. So this is our vertex right here. And our other parabola, here is our vertex. These vertex can be the maximum or the minimum for the graph. So if we look at our graph on the right-hand side, this is a minimum. It's the lowest point for our parabola. We aren't going to have any points below it. If we look at the graph on the right side, this is our maximum. All of the points are going to come below it. There's going to be none that are higher than that. All right, let's see what else we have here. Notice that the parabolas are symmetric. Symmetric means that I can fold it in half, and I'm going to see the same thing on both sides. They have an invisible line, and that is called the axis of symmetry. This runs through the vertex, so that's this line right here. This is our axis of symmetry, and it's an imaginary line. And this here is also our axis of symmetry. Make sure you're adding these to your graphs. It's going to help you out on your homework. And it says they run through the vertex and has the same value as the x-coordinate. So if we look at our vertex in our left-hand graph, that's going to be x, y. X tells us how far we're going to go to the left or to the right. And so the axis of symmetry has that same value. All right, let's see what else we have here. We also see it says the point where the parabola crosses the y-axis is the y-intercept. This is the constant in our quadratic function. So if we go back to our pictures and look here, make sure you add in where it crosses the y-axis, this is the y-intercept. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about the x-intercepts later, but we'll always see a y-intercept here. That's our constant. Okay. And we have one more piece to add here. And this says the graph will open up when a is greater than 0, and will open down when a is less than 0. That, remember, refers back to our ax squared plus bx plus c. That's this a here. All right, let's put this into play with some steps. All right, steps to finding the vertex of a parabola in standard form. Go ahead and pause this if you need to be able to write it down. First thing you do is you're going to write out A, B, and C. Then you're going to find the x-coordinate. This formula here, we could go through how we could find this formula, or you can just say, yep, Mrs. Matheson, this is my x formula. So if you ever want to find your x, you're going to plug it into negative b, or opposite b is a good way to think of it, over 2a. Then 3, you're going to plug in the x-coordinate back into the original function to find our y-coordinate, and then write out the vertex as a point, x, comma, y. Remember that the axis of symmetry is equal to, what did the axis of symmetry equal to? Look back on the front side. It says the axis of symmetry has the same value as the x-coordinate. Well, we just stated here that our x-coordinate is equal to opposite b over 2a, so our axis of symmetry is also equal to opposite b over 2a. Let's see how this plays into some problems. So our step 1 said to write out A, B, and C. So A is our number in front of x squared. It's our coefficient, so it does not include that x squared. B is our 8, and then don't forget to tag along that negative with the 3 for C. Next, we're going to find our vertex. Our vertex, remember, we're going to think about is opposite B over 2A to find our x value. So opposite of 8 is negative 8 over 2 times 2. All right, 2 times 2 turns into a 4. So negative 8 over 4 gives us negative 2. This is the x coordinate of our vertex. Now we need to find our y. Remember, these equations are set equal to y. So we're going to take that negative 2, and everywhere we see an x, we're plugging it back in. So let's go down here and write that out. Y equals 2. Oh, there's an x, so we're replacing it with negative 2. Don't forget that squared, plus 8 times negative 2 minus 3. Okay, now we're just going to follow our PEMDAS. Negative 2 squared turns into a 4. Okay, and if you can shortcut some of this work, that's fine. Just make sure that you're getting to the correct answer. 2 times 4 gives us 8. 8 times negative 2 gives us negative 16 and a minus 3. 8 minus 16 is negative 8 minus 3 equals negative 11. So our second part, the ordered pair, is negative 11. So our vertex is negative 2, negative 11. The y-intercept, if you look back to the front side, remember our y-intercept is our constant. So our constant is that c term. So our y-intercept is negative 3. Our axis of symmetry is congruent or equal to our x term in our vertex. So our axis of symmetry is negative 2. We need to decide if it opens up or if it opens down. The last sentence we have, it states if the graph will open up if a is greater than 0 and down if a is less than 0. So 2 is definitely greater than 0, so this is going to open up. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at problem 2 and get that started together. So our a is our number in front of our x squared, b is in front of our x, and c is 4. To find the x term of our vertex, we are going to plug it into opposite b. Ooh, b is negative already, so that's why we want to think opposite. So it turns positive, and then 2 times our a. So we get 6 divided by negative 6, so our x vertex is negative 1. Ooh, I can jump right to my axis of symmetry because I know those are congruent. Go ahead, I want you to plug that back in to find our y coordinate of our vertex. The y-intercept, remember that's just the concept or constant, and then go ahead and look back and see, does it open up or does it open down? We have 2 more problems here on the back side, and I think that you guys can certainly do 3 on your own. Don't forget what number is in front of x squared. And let's go ahead and look at 4. 4, our number in front of x squared is 2. Our b should be in front of x. Oh, we don't have an x term. So what's the only number that would be there? That would be a 0. And then c is 16. So when you go through this, that's going to make some interesting work. So watch your terms with that, and we'll go through this. If you've been assigned a Schoology quiz, don't forget to go in and take it. Thanks.